Centimeter Punk just delivered the most brutal revenge in WWE history, and I am furious that the best in the world, who got speared and powerbombed through a table by Roman Reigns just 1 week ago in Boston, waited until Madison Square Garden to hit a go to sleep on the OTC before lifting him high and powerbombing him through the announce table using Roman's own signature move to close the show with a blooded tribal chief laid out in the wreckage. On the 30th of March 2026 at the world's most famous arena, World Heavyweight Champion Centimeter Punk and Roman Reigns engaged in what WWE.com called a destructive melee that started the instant Punk's music hit, saw both men fight through a swarm of security officials and road agents, included Roman spearing an official out of frustration, and ended with Punk standing on the barricade gloating to the MSG crowd while Reigns lay motionless in the rubble. And here's what has me absolutely enraged: this was supposed to be Roman's moment to look strong going into WrestleMania 42, yet Centimeter Punk destroyed that narrative by proving he doesn't need the Bloodline's help to beat the OTC, he just needs a table and a point to prove. If you think Centimeter Punk went too far, or if you believe Roman Reigns deserved every second of that beating, drop your take in the comments right now, because what I'm about to break down will show you why this segment might be the most personal and vicious brawl of the entire WrestleMania 42 build. Part 1: The setup, Roman's Boston dominance. Before we dive into the MSG chaos, let me remind you what happened last week. Raw in Boston, the 23rd of March 2026. According to Cool Now, last week in Boston, Roman Reigns speared Centimeter Punk and then powerbombed him through the announce table in a jaw-dropping closing segment. First trivia question for the comments: Centimeter Punk is the current World Heavyweight Champion. How many times has Centimeter Punk been WWE Champion in his career? Drop your answer. The USOS involvement. Before Roman attacked Punk last week, the Usos Jimmy and G were circling him. Punk fired verbal shots at the entire Anoa'i family. According to the report, Centimeter Punk held his ground and fired verbal shots at the entire Anoa'i family, only for Roman Reigns to arrive and end the night with a spear and a powerbomb through the announce desk, leaving the Boston crowd stunned. Roman left Punk laid out. The champion was humiliated. Second question: Roman Reigns will challenge Centimeter Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42. How many times has Roman main event WrestleMania in his career? Answer in the comments. The revenge setup. After Boston, everyone knew Punk would want revenge. According to Cool Now's preview, Punk will likely come out swinging, looking to even the score before Las Vegas, and the crowd at MSG will be deafening for this confrontation. Madison Square Garden was the perfect place for Punk to get payback. Part 2: The entrance, Roman asks for acknowledgement. Now let's talk about how the segment started on the 30th of March. Roman's opening. According to Post Wrestling, Roman Reigns came to the ring. After asking New York City to acknowledge him, Reigns was cut off by Centimeter Punk. Roman soaked in the MSG crowd. According to Cool Now, the audience responded by throwing ones to the sky. New York was ready to acknowledge the OTC. But before Roman could say anything meaningful. Third question: Madison Square Garden is located in which New York City borough? Name the borough where MSG is located. Centimeter Punk's interruption. Centimeter Punk's music hit. According to WWE.com, the OTC and World Heavyweight Champion Centimeter Punk get into a destructive melee prior to their title fight at WrestleMania. Punk walked to the ring with purpose. According to Post Wrestling, Punk came to the ring, taking off his title along the way. It became clear quite quickly that he wasn't in the mood to talk. Punk took off the World Heavyweight Championship. He handed it to a ringside official. This was business. Fourth question: Centimeter Punk debuted in WWE in 2006 as part of which brand? Raw, SmackDown, or ECW? Name the brand. Part 3: The brawl begins, instant violence. According to Wrestling Attitude, Punk wasted no time once he arrived. The fight started immediately. The opening exchange. According to Sunday Guardian Live, the two teams fighting their way through the fans. Wait, that's the wrong match. Let me correct. According to Cool Now, Reigns took Punk down with a jumping clothesline, but Punk countered by dumping Reigns over the ropes and bouncing him off the announce desk. Roman struck first with a clothesline, but Punk dumped Roman over the ropes. Then Punk bounced Roman's head off the announce desk. Fifth question: The announce desk has been destroyed countless times in WWE history. Can you name the commentary team currently calling Raw? Drop their names. The ring post shot. According to Cool Now, Punk then whipped Roman into the ring post as security and officials rushed in to try to defuse the chaos. Punk sent Roman headfirst into the steel ring post. Security swarmed the area. Officials tried to separate them, but it was useless. Part 4, Fighting Through Security Chaos Erupts. Now here's where things got completely out of control. Roman's retaliation. According to Now, Reigns fought back with punches and even unloaded on the officials before picking Punk up. Roman started punching security guards. He was desperate to get to Punk. According to Post-Wrestling, Reigns knocked over a few officials. The spear on an official. Then Roman did something shocking. According to Wrestling Attitude, the intensity continued to rise as both men exchanged heavy strikes in and around the ringside area. But more importantly, according to Now, Reigns took out another official with a spear. Roman speared a WWE road agent. Collateral damage. Sixth question, Roman Reigns' finishing move is the spear. Can you name at least 2 other WWE wrestlers who have used the spear as their finisher? List them. Punk fights back. According to Post-Wrestling, Punk fought back as well, and the two exchanged blows until security managed to create some separation. Both men were throwing bombs. Security created temporary separation, but it wouldn't last. Part 5, the go-to-sleep Punk's first statement. After clearing out security, Punk made his first big move, the GTS setup. According to Post-Wrestling, Reigns took out an official with a spear. This distraction allowed Punk to pick up Reigns and wipe him out with a GTS. While Roman was distracted spearing the official, Punk struck. He lifted Roman onto his shoulders. Go to sleep. Knee to the face. Roman went down. Seventh question, Centimeter Punk's finishing move is called the Go to Sleep GTS. What does GTS stand for? Answer the full name. Punk signals he's done. According to Post-Wrestling, Punk put his hands up to signal that he was done, but he wasn't. Punk raised his hands like I'm finished. The officials thought it was over. They started to relax, but Punk was lying. He had one more move planned. Part 6, the powerbomb using Roman's own move. Now here's the most brutal part of the entire segment. The table setup. Punk cleared off the announce table. According to Wrestling Attitude, the momentum quickly shifted as Centimeter Punk regained control. He drove Reigns' head into the announce table. Punk removed the monitors. He prepared the table for destruction. The powerbomb. According to WWE.com, the official description, the best in the world powerbombing the OTC through the announce table. Punk lifted Roman Reigns high above his head. Then he launched him down through the table. According to Sunday Guardian Live, at last, slammed Reigns to the announcing table through a powerbomb. The symbolism. According to WrestleZone, in a defining moment, he lifted Reigns and drove him through the announce table with a release powerbomb. WWE's official Twitter called it, at CM Punk with a page out of Roman Reigns' playbook. Punk used Roman's signature move against him. This was the ultimate disrespect. Last week, Roman powerbombed Punk through a table. This week, Punk returned the favor. Final question, after watching this entire segment, do you think Centimeter Punk should retain the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42, or should Roman Reigns win the title? Give your prediction. Part 7, the closing image. Punk stands tall. After the powerbomb, the show ended with a powerful image. The aftermath. According to Sunday Guardian Live, the broadcast finished with a bloodied Punk standing over the broken Roman Reigns, who was a representation of the change in the situation before their fight in Las Vegas. Centimeter Punk was blooded. Roman Reigns was broken. The announce table was destroyed. Punk's celebration. According to Now, Punk then sat down in front of a dazed Reigns and continued unloading punches until officials finally managed to remove him. He climbed onto the barricade to gloat in front of the crowd as the show came to a close. Punk sat in front of Roman. He threw more punches. Then he climbed the barricade. He gloated to the MSG crowd. The champion stood tall. Part 8, the WrestleMania 42 implications. Now let's talk about what this means for WrestleMania 42. The match. WrestleMania 42, April 18 to 19, 2026. Centimeter Punk vs Roman Reigns. World Heavyweight Championship. According to WrestleZone, with WrestleMania 42 approaching, this encounter adds another layer to their rivalry. The narrative shift. Last week, Roman looked dominant by destroying Punk. This week, Punk reversed the narrative by destroying Roman. According to WrestleZone, Roman Reigns has built his legacy on dominance, but Raw's closing moments suggest he may now have to prove he can stand and fight on his own. The question, can Roman beat Punk without the Bloodline's help? The prediction, I think Centimeter Punk retains at WrestleMania 42. Here's why. Punk just proved he can beat Roman one-on-one. Roman's mystique is fading. Punk needs a big WrestleMania moment as champion, but Roman will likely get Bloodline interference. Conclusion, the champion's revenge. Centimeter Punk destroyed Roman Reigns at Madison Square Garden on the 30th of March 2026. Roman asked NYC to acknowledge him. Punk interrupted and immediately attacked. They fought through security. Roman speared an official. Punk hit a go to sleep. Then Punk powerbombed Roman through the announce table using Roman's own move. Punk stood on the barricade gloating. Roman was left bloodied and broken. This was revenge for last week's Boston attack. Punk proved he doesn't need help to beat Roman. The 18th of April in Las Vegas. Centimeter Punk vs Roman Reigns. World Heavyweight Championship. The most personal rivalry of 2026. Smash that like button if you think Punk should retain. Subscribe to Wrestling Zone 1 for WrestleMania coverage. Drop your takes. Was this the best Raw brawl of 2026? Who wins at WrestleMania? Is Roman finished without the bloodline? Let's debate. I'll catch you in the next one.